Good day, everyone. In this video today, you shall learn how to filter records in a data table, and I'm going to be showing us 3 ways in which we can achieve this. So the first method where you could filter the contents of a data table is using the quick search. So the quick search text box is located on every data table, yes, and you can find it at the top right hand corner, maybe not too far right. And typing the contents of what you want to search for in this text box filters the data table in real time. Like as you're typing, it makes the search. So I just searched for MIK and it brought out 2 words that contains the word MIK in it. So this quick search works for text fields, fields that you have to be the one to input the value, number fields and whatnot. But it doesn't work for searchable fields, fields that pull their value from another data source entirely. For example, the word facilitator ID field. We don't type it in, it pulls its contents from another data table. So the quick search wouldn't work for such fields. So if I attempt to search for this word facilitator, Rachel Osiban, if I type Rachel, it's not going to bring out that information because word facilitator ID is a searchable field. The second method in which we can search for or filter contents of a data table is this search icon right here. So on some of the data tables where we don't have the split view, and we can find this search icon on the array of icon we find on this data table, we can perform this second method. So clicking on it gives us fields we could use to search for contents on the data table. So here it's brought up date field, so you could search for records in this data table starting from a particular time range to another time range, and clicking on this search button filters the contents of the data table. As you can see, none of them matched my search criteria. Then the third way where we could filter data table contents is by using the advanced search. So anywhere we find a data table, we would always see the same way we would see the quick search text box, we would always see the advanced search button. Only on a few cases where you wouldn't find the button. So if you can find the button, you can perform this search approach. So this tool, the advanced search tool, helps us to carry out a much more specific or advanced level of search criteria on a particular data table. So here I can define specific search criteria. I could say show me work members whose first name equals to Ahmed, then click on the add query button. I could also stack it up and be like, okay, also add work members who provided driver's license as their type of identification, and I click and here and I add it. If we want both criteria to show, I would have selected all, not and. So it searches for this first, where their first name is equal to Ahmed and the type of identification they provided is driver's license. So we could keep on stacking this up. We could even have them in groups. So we could have this first two as a separate group, and we could have another group maybe for WAG, and we could do where the type of WAG is equal to new. So I changed, for me to create another group of search, I changed this. I clicked on the plus button and I changed it to 2. So we could have as many as we want, as many groups as we want to, and keep stacking them up. We could delete, edit, change the condition to or and once we are satisfied with our search, click on the execute search. So it turns out no wags on my data table matched the criteria, the search criteria I created. So anytime we see the red button beside the advanced search icon, it means there is a current active search on the data table. So once you click on the advanced search button again, it loads up the previous search you had. So you could modify it, delete it, filter it to what you specifically want, and whatnot. So one other thing I would like to mention is you could say you have spent quite a number of time to build up your search criteria. You could save it and then come back to it later, so you don't have to go through the whole process of creating this search criteria. I'm going to save it as test save and click on the save button, and click on the execute search button. So anytime we want to go back, so I'm going to cancel the current search here. That was why I clicked on the X red button. If I go back to the advanced search, if I change to this saved tab here, and I click on this data and this searchable box, text box, I'll be able to see my previously saved searches. So clicking on it loads up the particular save, and clicking on executes the particular search criteria on the data table. So those are the three ways we could perform or filter the contents of a data table. It's also worth mentioning, should we desire to export the contents of what we searched for, having executed the search through either of these three means, we could go ahead and export it in our desired format and click on the export button. So it exports just your filtered contents. Those are the three ways you could perform searches on the PMIS. Thank you very much.